posting the link. Give it a sec here. Okay. Good to go. We're live, right?
We're live.
We're live.
We're live.
We're live. All right. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Gaming Duo podcast. I'm your host for this week, Rob Garcia, and I'm joined by co-host Kevin Rolone and artist Sean Carlson. How are you today, guys?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Listen, if this is your first time watching, we are the podcast that brings you the news, the game. Okay, let me just keep going. Sorry. This is fine because this is just like the we're gonna take the audio from this and make it the actual podcast. So let's start again. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 83 of the Gaming Duo podcast. I'm your host, Rob Garcia, and I'm joined by Kelvin Rolone and special guest Sean Carlson. How are you doing today, guys?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Doing good. It's good. Well, guys, if you are new to the show, we are the podcast that brings you the latest gaming news with profound discussions. Some updates for you guys. We released a Patreon. So that's pretty exciting. If you guys want to go on to patreon.com/gamingduopod, that would help us immensely. Anything helps. And there's actually a lot of cool perks to that if you join. But enough about that. This is the first time we've had an artist on the show. I'm actually pretty freaking excited.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, me too. Thank you. Hopefully not the last.
No, definitely not the last, but we definitely struck gold by getting you as our first person.
Oh, wow. Thank you, man.
Man.
That's so nice, man. Thanks.
So we actually met Sean at 2018 Comic-Con before the world shut down. It was the last Comic-Con.
Wow, that long ago. Wow.
It was a few years back.
It was a few years back, and I remember I went to your booth, and immediately your artwork was just like incredible.
Oh,
you had, all of these. You had Goku, you had Samus, you have all of the nerdy pop culture things.
Exactly right. Yep.
And obviously we bought some art.
Yep. Mine's in the back here. I don't know if you guys can
see it right there. Yep. I do have the Super Smash Brothers piece, which I'll show later, and I'm sure it's in the slideshow we have coming up later. But yeah, I'm super excited and can't wait to talk about games. But before we get into the news, Kel, what have you been playing this week?
I've honestly haven't been playing much besides Multiverses. That's the only thing that's kind of gotten my playtime. I just can't stop playing that game. It's fun. It's immensely fun. It's like so much. I don't know. There's just something about that game that just keeps me wanting to keep playing, and I think a lot of it has to do with just how easily to pick up it is, and then just how fun it is to just play 1v1 or 2v2 depending on what your play style is. And it's just fun to play like the characters that they have, like I'm definitely into Wonder Woman. I have Harley Quinn as my main. I'm picking up Bugs Bunny right now, and it's just a blast playing those characters.
Sean, do you play Multiverses, or have you kept up with the game at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I was excited when it was first announced. Obviously, anything in the Super Smash vein, I'm into, and especially when it's all those characters that we all already know and love. And I was keeping up with a little bit of the at Evo this past weekend,
right.
Keeping up with the tournament that they had. I haven't gotten a chance to get my hands on it myself. Haven't played it myself, but definitely sooner rather than later we'll be getting to that.
It's a blast, man. I'm telling you.
Is it good?
It's so good. I'm gonna be honest. Cool. At first I wasn't like the biggest fan of it. I had like my complaints about it, but playing it more and more, I've been having a lot of fun with it. Too much fun.
Yeah, for sure. It's a blast, man. I think you'll have a fun time just picking it up and trying out each character, and it just has like this fun, fast-paced gameplay that if you've played Smash before, you kind of
Yeah.
know and love. But this is more of is it as great as Smash? No, but it does have its quirks. But it's just fun. I can't emphasize how much fun it is. Like me and Rob played a few hours. What was it the night before?
Monday, I
And
think. Yeah,
it was Monday, and we just had a blast. You know, it was
Couldn't
just
stop
fun
playing.
to just we couldn't stop playing. Like one more. You know, it's just
Yeah.
one of those games.
Yeah, I'm like I said, a huge fan of it. I think the fact that we just were talking about like I'm picking up Bugs Bunny, I'm picking up Harley Quinn, Batman, Superman,
Velma.
Velma. Like
Yeah.
we're gonna have Ultra Instinct Shaggy in the game. Like
Yeah, right.
the roster's actually pretty insane. If anything, I think it's more ambitious than Super Smash. If I'm gonna be honest, like anything goes with because WB is huge. Warner Bros. Owns everything.
Right. Well, now that we're in the discussion of multiverses, I do want to point out that they just tweeted about an hour ago that we're excited to announce season 1 will begin on August 15th, this coming Monday, with a brand new battle pass for you to earn in-game rewards. We can also confirm that Morty will join the character roster on August 23rd as part of season 1. We look forward to sharing more in the upcoming weeks. They added a side note to that as well, saying that everything we are bringing to you in season 1 will not drop on the same day. New modes and content will be spread throughout the life of the season. We'll continue to share dates on all the fun things to come. So there it is. Season 1, Monday. Let's go.
Let's do it. I'll be on. So actually, yes, so I'm actually going to Africa next week.
Wow,
sounds ridiculous. Yeah. I'm going to Morocco for vacation, and pretty random, but why not? And I'm going Tuesday, so I'll be able to at least play, because I was just like, oh no, I'm going to be gone. But
right.
I like that. That's the priority rather than the Morocco.
right, getting ready for Morocco.
Morocco sounds nice and all that, but will I get to play multiverse? Priorities, you know.
I mean, hey man, you can bring your Steam Deck. You know what I mean?
So. Speaking of Steam Deck, so I've actually loved this thing. Last episode we did like a first impression because I just got it and didn't really get to play. But after having it for over a week, let me tell you, that thing is incredible. Sean, if you have like gaming on the go, do you want to switch or anything like that?
No, I don't actually. For the opposite reason, what you might think it is because I'd get addicted. I do all that. I do I need to restrict myself as much as possible. So bringing the video game with me throughout my life would be that's huge problem.
Nothing will get done. No work will get done.
Exactly right.
Well, now it becomes a question of, do I want to play my Switch or do I want to play my Steam Deck? Well, I got to play both. That is the problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which one do you want to take? You know what I mean? Steam Deck or Switch? Steam Deck has like a 2-hour lifespan, battery life, right? Switch has like a 12-hour.
It's pretty bad.
It's bad.
Yeah, right.
Life, battery size is it's not good.
But I've been playing Metal Gear Rising, right, on my Steam Deck, and this is an older game, through Xbox 360, PS3 era. But I'm playing with this game with no hiccups, and I have it on max settings, and it's just blowing my mind that I'm able to play this game fully maxed out in the palm of my hand, and it's probably playing better now than it was when I had it on PS3 and 360, which is like, wow, that blows my mind. Yeah. It's impressive piece of technology, and I highly recommend it to anyone who's a fan of, Steam. If you have a ton of Steam games, go for it. Easy.
All
right. Before we jump into the news, guys, I have my last Dragon Ball Z Ocean Bomb juice, and this one is of Goku. And I know you have
Super Saiyan 2?
Super Saiyan 2 or Super Saiyan 1. And this one is orange flavor. So we're going to try it out. We're going to do a little bit of a... You guys hear this?
Nice. ASMR.
There you go. Okay, let's take the taste test.
It's the orange
flavor.
flavor.
Orange. Yes, it's probably going to taste like orange soda.
Probably.
It tastes like a lighter orange soda.
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, not bad.
No, any you feel a little stronger, faster, any urge to scream and power up for 7 episodes?
I don't know. I don't know. I might have to just just start growing a monkey tail or something like that, and have an urge to fight Frieza. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
You know?
So that's the last one. So can you rank which one was the best one, or better yet, was that worth the hype? Was it worth getting? What you had, like 3 or 4 of those?
So I had a Goku one. I had a Gohan and I had a Vegeta one. The Vegeta was white grape. I want to say the Gohan was cider. It was cider flavored, which was really weird. It tastes like cotton candy. It didn't taste like cider at all.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, weird.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is probably the best flavor.
Okay. You can't go wrong with orange.
Yeah, it's a classic for a reason.
Exactly. Yeah. And it happens to be Goku, who's the best, right? So
probably why they gave it to him.
What do you mean? Goku is the strongest. He's the best. That's just the way it is.
Character-wise, he's
a behavior, like the way he's a deadbeat dad. And
that is. Yeah,
we can get into that some other time. We'll get into some other anime podcast and talk about that.
It's hard to raise your kid when you're dead half the time.
That's fair. That's
He could just not be dead. He chose to do that. He could just let someone else do it.
Nothing will get done. You know what I mean? Nothing will get done. Vegeta over here, Vegeta has to step it up.
That's
exactly.
True.
So let's get into the first news of the week. We had Evo last weekend, all right, and there was a bunch of things that happened there. One of the big things is several games will be getting this thing called rollback net code. And you're wondering, what the fuck is rollback net code? Kel, do you know what rollback net code is?
I do, yeah.
Okay. Do you know what rollback net code is, Sean?
I actually do, yes. Thanks.
You do know? Wow, I did not know. I did not know.
If you asked me an hour ago, I did not know. But reading up in prep for this a little while ago, yes, I recently learned what it is. Yeah.
So basically, if you guys don't know what rollback net code, it is a software which specifically made to compensate for lag in online matches. Yep. So now that we're kind of more in a digital world and a lot more people playing fighting games online, there's obviously a lot of lag going on. So to compensate for that, they put this thing in place, helps a little bit. And now a ton of games are actually going to be getting the software, which is huge. Mm-hmm. I don't think it'll ever come to Super Smash Brothers because Nintendo hates us. But Dragon Ball Z, Fighter Z got it. Persona 4 Rita Ultimate and King of Fighters 15 is going to be getting this.
I didn't know Persona 4 was still like that popular. I don't hear anybody talking about it. I don't hear anybody play the game, like especially like Arena Ultimate is what I'm talking about. So it's interesting that they're still, updating that game, especially giving the rollback net code. That's pretty cool.
I think Persona fans tend to be on the quiet side. It's definitely a hugely popular game. It's just you won't know someone's like a Persona fan right off the jump. It's not like as big as some of these like Final Fantasy or something like that, or I'm thinking like or Tales games, right? It's kind of like a weird space where there are a lot of fans, but they're just kind of closet about it, which is weird.
Sean, I recommend this game, but I don't recommend this game for you because this game will
the
eat
addiction
up your
factor.
life. Yeah,
again?
the addiction factor is there. It can easily take
up
80 hours of your life, and you don't even know what happened. So tread lightly if you want to get on that.
That I've heard that exact thing. Yeah.
It's like RPG, dating sim, like life coach. It's just a ton of things.
Life coach. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Although I've never gotten super into, I was never into The Sims. I never got super into Animal Crossing. I never got, and granted, this isn't entirely that stuff, but anything that's too close to real life, like a dating video game, I'm more like, I want to experience other worlds.
Yeah.
The fantasy, sci-fi, that sort of stuff.
Right. I hear you.
What's that one game? Doki something? It's like
Doki?
Doki. Yeah, Doki, where it's like it's like a dating sim, but it has like a horror twist to it. It's really weird, and it's.
I'm not about that.
Maybe I have. Yeah,
you probably have heard of it. Yeah.
Is that like 5-6 years ago it came out?
I would say so. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if there's a sequel, but yeah,
there might be. It's a very weird game. I choose not to watch it because I just like saw a streamer like playing it a little bit. And I was like, no, I'm gonna pass on that. That doesn't look like something.
Oh yeah.
But from Evo, we got some announcements. King of Fighters will get 3 new DLC characters for the fall. Tekken will see a balance adjustment for the future. We didn't see anything about Tekken 8. They didn't really announce. They just said that Tekken 7 is the best selling Tekken of all time, and it's been out forever, so that makes sense.
Sure.
So that's kind of cheating, but they're still supporting that game, which is kind of crazy. Kelvin's going to be playing some of the trailers here in the background. We got. Is this the King of Fighters coming up right now?
Yes.
Yes. And then
I like Guilty Gear. Sorry,
this is Guilty Gear. So Guilty Gear Strive season 2 is going to kick off with a new character. Her name is Bridget. So they kind of do the same thing as Smash. They'll leave like a season, and in each season they'll have like new characters that pop up. So we get this yo-yo.
That's really
slash.
Cool. I love. Let's talk about the art style real quick. The art style is amazing. Like this game just doesn't get enough like credit for how beautiful the game looks.
It's been around forever. It's
one
of those,
but I don't hear people talk about it enough. You know,
it's like a Persona. Yeah. You know, it's like one of those things where there's probably a ton of fans, but they're not loud about it, which is weird. Look at this; it's so freaking slick and fast. You know, it's great. For reference, here she uses a yo-yo as her weapon. So and everything's nicely cell shaded. This looks incredible. So Bridget's coming, and Street Fighter 6. We got 2 new characters. They're not new, but we have Kimberly and Jory. So we're gonna play some trailer here with them, and they look incredible.
And full disclosure, I have not seen any of these trailers. So
oh wow, so yeah, wait till you see it. So Kimberly, she kind of uses she's like more of a Street Fighter. She has said there's Street Fighter. She's like a Street Fighter.
I see.
She's just like graffiti. She's like super intense, like super fast. She seems like really does like a lot of somersaults and submission attacks.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she has like a teleport that she uses with her graffiti. It's pretty crazy. Yeah.
Any character who uses art supplies as a weapon, I'm in. I'm immediately sold. Yeah, the paint splatter, all that stuff that we just saw, awesome looking. Yeah, very cool.
So I think when people saw this, they got super hyped. She's using her special right now, which is she put some headphones on and the paint's flying everywhere, and she's just going crazy, Super Saiyan, smacking people with spray paint, which is pretty nuts.
Yeah, this is badass. The game looks gorgeous, dude. Like I can't help but just stare at this for hours. Like it just looks beautiful.
Yeah. And what do you think, Sean, so far of Kimberly?
Very cool. Like I said, she's going Super Saiyan or she's going Bob Ross, whichever of those.
I like that.
I'm into it. Yeah, the style looks good. And yeah, especially just the visuals. I think Street Fighter here more so than I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name. The previous
Guilty Gear.
Guilty Gear. I think Street Fighter still has the better visuals.
Mm-hmm.
Just the background, the use of color, level of detail, and especially in a fighting game, clear distinction between foreground and background. You never want to have the character lost in what's going on behind them.
Right.
And I think Street Fighter really nails it.
Now, who is this? This is Jury.
So apparently she is a returning character from the series, but they kind of gave her a revamp. So her moves are probably different. Her style's a little different, but she is a returning character from Street Fighter. She's not a new character. So she looks like a goth Chun-Li.
Yeah,
is what I'm getting from her right now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
She looks pretty badass.
Yeah. So what did you think of the trailer, Kelv? I mean, both you guys, like, are you super hyped for Street Fighter now?
I am the most hype for Street Fighter I've ever been in my life. I'm not a huge fighting fan in general, but this really does a lot for me. Like this, it looks fantastic. It looks really good. I'm like super excited to try it out and just see what they have. Just see what they can do.
Yeah. So again, we had a ton of announcements for Evo. This was Sony's first time hosting Evo. Like they acquired Evo back, I think, in 2021. And what did you guys think? Did you think Sony did a really good job hosting it this year after acquiring?
I'm surprised how well it went. I mean, Sony, this being their first time actually hosting Evo live and in person, I think they did a fantastic job of just kind of keeping it with what players want and what Evo fanatics want. And I think they did a phenomenal job of just keeping it so that it looks very heavy budgeted, I guess, if that's a word. Like they definitely made it sure that, okay, this is something that evil fans want and fighting fans in general love. So let's bring up the budget a little bit, and it kind of feels like actual full-fledged like tournament style event, and I think that's what fighting fans want. I think that's what fighting fans need. I feel like a lot of fighting fans in general always get like the backburn of like games where, again, rollback netcodes are something that are a thing that are actually happening now.
Right.
But in the past, it's always been an issue, a struggle with just having a competent gameplay to like actually play. There's always those games that just don't work well online, and they're always struggling. And I think now we're starting to see fighting fans getting a lot of acknowledgement, a lot of like just things that they've been wanting and asking for quite some time. And I think Evo did a great job this year.
Sean, any thoughts on Evo?
Yeah, no, I'd agree. Especially this is their first one hosting, and especially in a post-pandemic era. As someone who does not necessarily video game tournaments, but Comic-Cons, someone who's in the convention world fairly often. There's a whole bunch of just, so much more red tape and hoops to jump through and stuff to organize, like I said, in a post-pandemic world. And, with that all being said, I think there were a few hiccups. I was actually reading something about, since we mentioned multiverses, there was that little pause issue that they had where a couple people, like it happened repeatedly throughout the tournament that guys were accidentally hitting pause. Yeah. And it was leading to some forced forfeits. Sorry to say quick. But just like with anything else, a few bugs to work out. It's not going to be perfect the first time out the gate. So they got to smooth out a few of the wrinkles. But overall, from what I saw, went very well. Yeah, I think that if I could put a button on it, I think the phrase you were looking for, Kelvin, was like a high production value.
Yes, thank you.
They just, they shelled out the money. It looked professional. The hosts were all professional. Everything, the visuals,
right? Commentators did a great job too.
Yes, commentators. So,
yeah. I think they knocked it out of the park. I was invested into the game, or into the thing, and I'm happy to see what they do next year. It's just going to get better and better from here, I think.
Yeah.
Fun fact: we do have King of Fighters showing in the background with the new characters coming out. Did you guys know that in King of Fighters there is a character named Robert Garcia?
Shut up.
Yes, swear to God.
Shut up.
Shit, really?
Who is he? I gotta find out.
He's a fighter. I mean, put it up on the screen if you want. Look for it. But his name is Robert Garcia.
I gotta look this up.
I remember I was playing as a kid, I think on PlayStation 1, whatever King of Fighters was out for them. And I remember going through the booklet and I saw Robert Garcia. What the hell? I picked him up. Obviously, I made him. But that's my only thing I know about King of Fighters is that
I'm in the game. I gotta show this. This is funny. All right. Yeah. So this is Robert Garcia.
That's me.
Probably a poor picture there, but
yeah, that's me. I'm in the game with long hair. Yep. And I'm wearing nice white pants that are perfect for fighting.
Yep.
They're not going to get dirty or anything like that.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Man. There you go. Me without the shirt on, long hair.
Perfect.
Yeah. The two bottom buttons.
Yep.
And
you have to
go.
You know what I mean? You have to.
Yeah. There was probably one of the hypest moments that happened at Evo was, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Cell Yell. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
Is this another DBZ reference?
Yep. This is another DBZ reference. So
okay.
When they were showing Dragon Ball Fighter Z, right? And so apparently when Cell is gonna fight Gohan, there's a cutscene right before you fight in the game, right? They like have a little monologue with each other. They say like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat you," yada yada yada. But when certain characters fight against each other, they say lines to each other. So Cell, when he fights Team Gohan, powers up. He goes, "Ah!" And what ended up happening was they went into the game, they skipped the cutscene, and the crowd were like booed. They were like, "Oh!" So then they restarted the match, and then all at once the crowd screamed when Cell screamed. Yeah,
that's cool.
Awesome.
And I was like,
pretty cool.
I love that. I love that they were just like, "No, we're gonna do this right. Like that's what the fans want. They want to do the Cell Yell. We'll do it." And it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did they only cut it out? Did they cut that little pre-fight thing for all the characters or just for Cell?
I think they did it for all the characters. Like
That's a
they
lot.
normally just skip, but the fact that like Cell yell is a thing
Yeah,
that
right,
when they
okay,
skipped
okay.
over it, they were like pissed. So like, no, that's a thing. Like it's a meme basically within the game.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool.
But that's a cool thing about fighting games, man. Like that's the kind of stuff you're talking about, Kel, where like this is stuff that happens at Evo.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think again, this is one for the books. I think Sony did a phenomenal job, and it brought the hype. It definitely brought the hype. Like I was definitely, I'm not the biggest fighting fan, but I was checking Evo out here and there. Definitely see multiverse fights, and it just seemed like a great time. Like I'm sure everyone that was there enjoyed the hell out of it.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, the crowds looked super into it. The crowds were really amped. Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not a huge fighting game fan. Like it's not that deep. But if I was in the Las Vegas area, I would 100% would have bought a ticket and went 100%.
They weren't that expensive either, right?
Like $35.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
Not bad at all.
So one last thing before we move on to the next news piece. Will Nintendo ever allow Smash into Evo now that Sony has it?
No. I'm sorry. I honestly don't think that's going to happen. I think Nintendo is very too close-knit with what their properties are, and I don't know. I honestly don't know the reason why, but they just don't like. They don't want Smash to be a competitive fighting game as much as it already is.
What it is. That's like the competitive platform.
Like, I think they just want it to be a casual game that you play with your buddies. It's a very family-friendly oriented game, but it's not. It's very if you see the Smash community, they're very toxic sometimes, but it's it is what
Do
it is.
you want to tell them about the guy you faced at the one tournament?
Yeah, it was interesting. I was playing this guy, and this was like our first one of our first tournaments that we've been to, and he's Fox, I'm Samus. He was kicking my ass for a good amount of time. Samus is my main, which hence why I bought your
me too.
Nice. And so I was getting my ass kicked, but I'm like, you know what? I'm having a good time. But I think Rob knows my playstyle already, so he noticed when I start switching up towards the end when I start losing and I'm like about to lose. I don't know. My playstyle just changes.
He's a comeback kid. He's literally just like,
okay.
He can turn it. It's like a switch. He goes Super Saiyan.
Yeah. And then this guy starts, I'm noticing like he's like struggling a little bit. He's like kind of getting a little pissed off. He's like muttering, like,
getting frustrated
by himself. Yeah. And I ended up beating him. I don't know how. I just ended up beating him.
Wow. Okay.
The minute I won, he stood up from his chair, he threw his controller, and he just yelled, "Fuck!" Like he was so pissed, dude. I had my controller and I was like this. I was like, I was so shook because I did not expect it. And
I thought he was gonna get stabbed. I was like, yo, we gotta get out of here. He's about to stab you.
Yeah, he was very pissed. But and that was it. He just kind of ruined the whole hype that I had. He just kind of ruined the whole thing. Everybody, it's one of those things where everyone just stood quiet and it's just like, what the fuck just happened, So,
you ever go onto YouTube and see there's compilations of that exact moment of guys?
Moments.
Yeah. If you go just on YouTube, look up Smash salty moments or rage moments and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the best part is not just the guy getting up slamming the controller down, but what you were doing of just everyone else just frozen,
just in shock.
You're just like, all right, wait for this to pass.
Yep.
Because it's so awkward. It's so they got just such this pent up angst that just explodes, and you don't know what to do.
That's the thing. You just don't know what to do. It's just all right, well, great job for ruining the whole experience.
Yeah, right. Yeah, really.
If anything, it's funny. I think it's hilarious, and I had an opposite experience last tournament I went to. Is after the guy destroyed me, he offered to
fighters. Is it fighters?
Huh? No. This was in Comic-Con in Saratoga, and he offered to be my friend. Hey, let's be friends.
Okay.
It's I'll train you.
Wow.
And this guy's 17, 18 years old. He was young. And I'm freaking 30 at this point. And I'm just thanks, man, but I'm good. But
that was a nice offer.
That's what I'm saying. It's it was a completely
very nice,
different. Yeah.
I'll train you.
I'll train you. Get good, kid. I'll train you.
Right, basically. But yeah, that's the thing is Nintendo. You see, obviously, there's people that are so passionate about the game, and that's what
Yeah.
keeps the game going is these competitive
Mhm.
things. And I just wish they would embrace it, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But enough about fighting game, gentlemen. Let's move
Yeah.
on to some new Sonic news. Sonic Frontiers will be at Gamescom. We get a Sonic 3 release date, and Sonic is coming to Fall Guys. This was announced on Twitter by Jeff Keighley. Sonic Frontiers will be at Gamescom later this month, August 23rd at 2 p.m. And I don't know, Tuesday to go look at it, and it's a bunch of Sonic news. The announcement will take place as part of Keighley's Gamescom opening night light event. It will feature reveals related to several upcoming games. Sonic 3, the movie, will hit theaters December 20th, 2024.
Nice.
And for
Oh, wow,
Fall
2
Guys,
years.
Sonic skins, there'll be new Sonic skins that you can buy, and stages are coming to Fallout Guys. It's an event ranging from August 11th to August 15th. So if you guys are hearing this, the event is live right now. If you're watching it, the event is live right now. So let's talk about the Frontiers being the announcement for Frontiers being there. Sean, are you familiar with the game? Have you seen anything about the game yet?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, well, what? There's only very little out, right? They haven't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
My only, I grew up with Sonic. I'm a Sonic fan, and the more the better. My only concern is if you take a look at they release, I think it's like box cover art. My
Mhm.
only concern is it's like Sonic standing on top of a ledge, looking over a landscape. The world design doesn't look or feel like Sonic.
Mhm.
Right.
Like it
Right.
kind of, and if you know the image I'm talking about, it almost looks like if you muted the colors and changed a little detail, it looks just sort of like a standard fantasy kind of like it could have been something from Elder Scrolls for all I know.
Mm.
Like it just Sonic looks really cool, but the world doesn't. It doesn't feel like Sega. It doesn't feel like the Sonic
Let me see if this
I
is
know.
is this it right here?
Yes, yeah, that's one of them. Yeah, and again, like again, me, maybe I'm being overly critical, but I'm all about the visuals. The character looks very much out of place with the world.
Hmm.
Um,
For sure.
so yeah, my 2 cents.
Yeah, I think Sonic is hit or miss at this point
Yeah.
with what comes out for the games. Like sometimes the games are great, sometimes they're pretty bad. So I think everyone after what they saw, they are just like you said, the world just looks empty. Like, where's the stuff? Am I just running around? And that's pretty much it. Like, what do the different levels look like?
Right.
And that's I think this announcement for Gamescom when it comes out, I think we'll finally get our answers to be like, okay, it's actually pretty decent, or it still looks bad. What do you
I
think?
mean, we have to, right? I mean, the
Yeah.
game is coming out in November, right? Like this, unless it's been delayed that we haven't heard of, it's coming out this year. So August 23rd has to be the day where they announce as much as they can and kind of wow us or sell us or kind of like be the deciding factor of like, yeah, this is the Sonic game that we want. From the beginning, I think this game seems it had high expectations for a lot of people because it was like this first like open world Sonic game, and playing or watching it with the IGN presents, it seemed very I don't know, empty, bare. It just didn't have that like grand scale that we're used to open world games.
Yeah.
And it seemed odd, right? Like a lot of the structures that they had in the game were like you have like these structures and high up places where you have railings that are just like floating in midair for no reason. I think it just doesn't make sense. And again, there's a lot that we haven't seen yet, and they've explained that hey, we still have a lot to show. So I'm still hopeful that this game has something to kind of like really get us excited for. But I honestly think this game isn't gonna. To me, right now, it seems like a very 6 out of 10 type of Sonic game. So We'll see. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I think with Sonic, it could either do a Legends of Arceus route, where when we first saw the game, it looks pretty bad, but then the end product was actually pretty good.
Mhm.
Or we actually saw a really early build of the game where there really wasn't much there. They were just kind of showing like this is coming, but we don't have a ton to show you yet because we want to show you the game, but we don't have all of the assets yet to show you. So we're going to show you this. So that's my hope. I'm rooting for this game. I really am. I want it to be good. I want a good Sonic game. But at the same time, it's like if this game is bad, we have the Sonic 3 movie to look forward to, which those are freaking awesome, man. I freaking love those movies. They knocked it out of the park.
Yes. Sean, have you seen them?
Yes. Yes. So saw one around when it came out and just saw two very recently. And yeah, especially, and who knows, maybe this game will take the same route, especially after what's the nickname for him? The first design of the ugly Sonic.
Oh yeah, I don't remember the name
that
of
first trailer.
Ugly Sonic,
the horrendous one. Yeah.
After that first trailer came out, it's like, oh, this is going to be rough. And then they managed to pull it out. I was surprised, not just that they listened to the fans and cared enough about it to spend. I mean, it was a good couple $1 million that they on their own volition, just to make the movie better, decided to redesign them. But the story's solid. The comedy's good. It's an entertaining movie, and it's gotten a whole new. Whereas, like I said, doing conventions a couple years before, no young kids, that next generation, they weren't into Sonic, unlike how they are now. I was doing a convention the weekend that 2 came out a couple months ago, and Sonic T-shirts, Sonic outfits.
Really?
So, oh, dude, yeah, with like the new generation, the young kids, it's as big as it ever was. Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, definitely, especially Knuckles. Kids really are.
Dude, I was just telling Rob, my son, he out of the blue, he just started getting into like Sonic. He loves Sonic. He watches Sonic X back in the 1990 show that they had.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He's watching that. He has like a Sonic game like on his little gamepad, like a little iPad thing that he has. He plays that. And recently we just went to like a little fair that we had nearby, and I saw like this little little gaming area. So I went over there, and sure enough, there was like Sonic stuff, right? There was like Sonic plushies and stuff like that. So he went over and he saw Sonic. He's like, oh, Sonic. So he grabbed Sonic, and then he saw Knuckles, and he's like, oh, Sonic. He thinks everybody's Sonic. So he grabs Knuckles, and he's like, I want this one. So he grabbed Knuckles. And I just thought that was such a fun and like amazing moment for me, because like he's like really getting into like, just things that he likes and enjoys. And having Knuckles, like, it's weird that he chose Knuckles over Sonic, because Sonic is Sonic, right? But like Knuckles, he's not seen Knuckles rarely. I mean, maybe in the show, because he's definitely in the show.
Did he watch the movie with you?
No, he didn't watch the movie.
He didn't watch the movie. Okay.
Okay.
So it's just maybe he likes the color red. I don't know, but it's just funny that he picked Knuckles over Sonic. So yeah,
I think that for us, when we were kids, how we got into Sonic was through the games, right? Through the Sega Genesis. That's how he became popular to us. For this generation of kids, it's not necessarily the games that are getting them hooked on Sonic. It's the movie. The movie reeled them in. And I hope we actually kind of see a shift in cinema right now, where we're getting a lot of like that superhero fatigue.
Right.
Marvel just pumping out stuff like that. I'm hoping the next big thing that takes off is video game adaptations, like good video game adaptation of movies. Like Sonic, like we're gonna get the new Mario movie. So I hope that becomes more of a thing, versus, because again, the Sonic kind of feels like a superhero movie in a sense, right? It has CGI, has a ton of CGI. It's they got to save the world, but it's different. Like it's just more playful, and it's like it's not trying to be overly funny. Like you could tell when in especially Marvel now, you could tell when they're trying to be funny. Where in this type of movie, they're genuine. It's like a genuine kind of like, it makes sense. So
yeah, it's fun. It's a fun. I think it's probably the best Sonic movie we can get to. Like I feel like this is peak Sonic movie in my opinion. Is it amazing. I don't think like the story is kind of like, especially the first one. I feel like
So it's okay.
the
Yeah.
story's okay, right? I feel like if they dive more into Sonic lore, right, and they instead of having it in this like real world setting and just kind of make it more into like, you know, more of like the Sonic like lore that they have, like say in the show, right, like Sonic X or something like that. Like I think that would be cool. I think we're one step closer though to getting a Super Smash Brothers movie because of how close.
Really?
I mean, think about it. We have Sonic, right? We have the
Uh-huh.
Pikachu, Detective Pikachu. There's a Mario movie coming out. Like slowly but surely, there's gonna be several adaptations to. I mean, if there's a Samus movie coming out at some point in my life, let's fucking
Oh
go.
my
You know what I
God.
mean, let's go.
If they could do, and
Please.
again, maybe it would be the only sin is that you could call it being a ripoff, but if they could do like an Alien type,
Yes.
you know, which again, it's, you know, Ripley, Ridley, it was always it always had homages to Alien.
Sure.
But yeah, if they could do like I'm talking a hardcore
Yeah, with the
sci-fi
Metroids,
Go
like those
in
things
the
are.
Metroid
in,
universe,
man.
all the lore, the
Yes.
Chozo, dude, all that stuff, I would be, oh my God, that
All
would be
in, man.
amazing.
Listen,
But
if they could do a Master Chief like a Halo show about
Yeah,
like Master
true.
Chief, they could do a Samus one. They easily do a Samus one.
Let's
100%.
not compare that Halo show.
No, but I'm saying
It was
that
pretty
that,
bad.
right? No, yeah, exactly. It was pretty bad, but it had the possibility of being really great.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yes.
for sure.
yeah, I just don't get my hopes up for that. That would be so sick.
Hey,
They
man.
would have to they'd have to go the extra mile because the Metroid games in particular have such a distinct flavor and
Yes.
style to them. The you know, your solo, the
Yep.
loneliness, the isolation, and that sort of the music, the sort of that creepy sort of foreboding atmosphere.
No dialogue, really, right? There's
Yes.
not a lot of dialogue.
just
So how is
her.
that going to incorporate? How is that going to be something that they put into the big screen? You know?
Yeah, and that's one of the eternal things that I think has held a lot of video game movies back, is that in order, you know, they're different mediums. What works in a video game sometimes very, very well is it does not work in a movie, which does not work in a painting, which does not work in an opera. Again, they're different mediums and you have to
Right.
play to what they are.
Right.
But if you change too much of what made it the
Source
thing,
material.
exactly right, and it becomes something else, well, then your core fan base isn't into it to begin with. So it's a tough situation. Yeah, and you know, like you said, this is probably the best version of Sonic we've gotten, and I just it's hard. It's a thin line to walk.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see Sonic 3 because I mean, I don't want to spoil it, but there's a particular character.
Spoilers.
Yeah,
I think
spoilers.
anyone who's a Sonic fan, I think you know what's even
Right.
if you haven't seen him, you know what's
The
coming.
movie's been out for quite some time.
Yeah,
already,
they hinted
Yeah,
at
that's for sure.
Shadow, so
Yeah.
he's gonna be in season. I keep saying season in Sonic 3, and so it's
Yeah.
it's exciting to see what they're gonna do. Is Amy gonna be in this one? Like, I'm really excited to see what they're gonna do with the next one. You know,
I mean, hopefully Metal Sonic will come in. That would be really cool.
That'd be cool.
I'm surprised they showed like what is it, Supersonic? Like,
Yeah, they showed him pretty
so
early. I
early.
thought they're gonna wait till a third movie to show Supersonic,
Yeah.
but they
Yeah.
went and did the second. Which
that was hype
I'm-
though. That was hype.
yeah.
I will
Oh
say
yeah,
that.
that was awesome.
But last point about the Samus movie. You know, you said that like it being like the game's quiet and like what would be the dialogue. Well, you look at movies like The Quiet Place, and there's barely any dialogue
Good
in
call.
that movie,
Good
and
point.
it works. So
Good point.
it can be done. You just need the right director to.
Yeah.
It's hard
pull it
though
off.
when I mean, unless they make a Samus movie that she doesn't have her helmet on the whole time. It's hard to see like emotion with her
Yeah.
because obviously you can't see it, right? So it's different with The Quiet Place because you're seeing emotion, you're seeing them scared, you're seeing them terrified, right? But with Samus, how is that going to work? You know, so again, it's very difficult. It's a very fine line to deal with.
They could
And-
go. Sorry, I was interrupting you.
Oh
Sean.
no, sorry. Yeah, just real quick, and that was one of the things when you mentioned about the Halo show. I disagreed with the decision, but I understand why they made it of taking the helmet off so early.
Yes.
And because for that exact reason, you gotta, and again, this is why it's so difficult. You want to you want to deliver on what the hardcore fan base envisions, but you also want to draw in new fans at the same time.
100%.
And for new fans, it's hard to relate to a helmet.
Yes.
You need that human connection. So
Yes.
again, I don't think it was the right decision, especially the way they did it in the end. But I get the thought process.
Yeah, I think that would have been more suited towards the end, right? If they end of the season, that would make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Again, but again, going back to what you just said, there's not a lot of people that will connect to him to actually a helmet or a mat or someone in a suit when they don't know who this person is. They don't know who Master Chief is. So it's like, it's again fine line. So
although another one that that did it right, V for Vendetta. He had his mask on the whole time, and at the same time, we did have Natalie Portman, but
yeah.
But
that's true.
No, 100%. And then just the last thing about this news piece is that Fall Guys is getting a Sonic update. I don't know if you want to roll a clip and show like the trailer. It's actually pretty cool.
I'll do that in a second.
They're going to be getting a little event, I guess, because of the announcement from Jeff Keighley. They just decided we're going to do Fall Guys. Do you play Fall Guys at all, Sean?
No, I don't. Not familiar with it. I got to confess.
It's basically just a battle royale, but you just run. You basically run and jump, and you just get to a finish line. But it's ridiculous.
It's a race. Yeah. Essentially, you're racing against other people. There's different gameplay styles, there's different like little game modes, but essentially, it's like a race to the finish line. And whoever you go through different levels, and whoever gets to the end of the level wins the battle royale. So it's fun. It's a cute little game. I played it a little bit with Tony. Shout out to Tony. And I won my first round with Tony twice. Actually, I've run twice with him, so that was pretty epic. So it was a fun time.
Yeah, so this event is live now. Go play it. It's free, and you can unlock different rewards. You can buy Sonic skins, and Sonic Adventure's out now. All right, last piece of news for today. We got a new Forspoken small trailer, and it's bad.
That's it. End of discussion.
That's it. That's pretty much
moving on.
But basically, what we're trying to say here is this game. Every time they show this game, there's something wrong. It just looks off. I don't know if we could put the volume on and actually hear it, but the audio actually does something. Like if you hear the way that she's saying these things, and I'm talking to a cuff, and I'm seeing dragons, and it just doesn't. Yeah, okay. It's not that's something I do now. I do magic, kill jacked up beast, like all in big. This looks like something a high school student would have made with the text just being big like that. And basically, Twitter being Twitter, people have been just crapping all over this, just being this is so bad. And
sorry,
you really do have to watch it and hear it to get the full effect. So I highly recommend going to Twitter and listening to it.
Yeah.
But
there's just a lot of memes now with it, and just kind of it's just hysterical. But I don't know, man. I'm very nervous to see how this game turns out. Since day one, this game has given me red flags. A lot of the voice acting seemed odd. A lot of the lip syncing seemed odd. The gameplay looks a little off too. It just doesn't feel fleshed out. It doesn't feel smooth. It doesn't feel like it's to par to what Square Enix is capable of. So I'm nervous, and I don't know if this game is going to do well or not. But with this added onto it, it just adds fire to the whole situation.
Have you seen anything with Forspoken, Sean? Are you familiar with the game? You know what's going on with it? Do you know that's kind of going through the shitter right now as far as every time they show it?
Yeah, a little bit. I was watching a bunch of stuff before that, that clip that you just showed beforehand, before the podcast started, to bring myself up to speed about it. And yeah, it might be hard to show here because if you watch it without the sound, I might be in the minority here. Some of the magic visuals looked kind of cool.
Yes.
But when you listen to it with the narration, it just, for me, it reeked of when corporations try to sound cool or try to sound like young or in the know. Or you know that meme of Steve Buscemi from 30 Rock where he's got the skateboard, he's like, hey fellow kids.
You ever
see that meme?
That's exactly it. You hit the nail on the head on that.
It felt too much of that, like
like when forcing it on you to be cool. Like
yes, like it's a corporation. Listen to how we're talking, guys. We're talking like you guys. We're talking in memes. We're talking in hashtags. And it just reeked of that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. To be fair, the whole narrative of the story is that she is from New York and she gets somehow warped and merged into this like fantasy world. So she still has her New York accent. She still has her New York, lore, but the way she talks and all that stuff. But it just seemed odd. It just seemed very and it's weird. Like people like Gary Whitta that I know from like Kind of Funny, and he's a well-known artist as well. He's a well-known comic book person. Like he's worked on this game as well. So there's a lot of like higher up people that are well known that are working on this game, and it just seems like the quality isn't there, which is weird.
Yeah. Is it doomed? Are we looking at it being like a 6.5, or do you think it could pull?
The gameplay has to be spot on. The gameplay has to be really like out of this world, along with the story. The story seems cool, right? I mean, I feel like the story is interesting enough to be like, all right, I can probably check this out, but I don't know if it's gonna. Again, the story goes hand in hand with the voice acting, and if the voice acting is pretty shitty, then the story kind of falls short with that too. So
yeah, it could also be the marketing of this game. It could just be the marketing. It could be a phenomenal game.
Like I feel like it's just not.
That's what I'm saying. It could just be bad marketing, and that's what's killing the game right now. It could maybe be play really well and awesome, but they're just the trailers. They're just showing it like shit. And again, that was really bad marketing.
That was bad. That was bad.
Or was it good marketing because everyone's not talking about it, and they're like, we got to try this game out.
Yeah. All press is good press.
So there you go. So maybe it was good marketing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it for the news for this week, guys. We're going to get into in-game chat where we're going to talk to Sean about his art and why he became an artist. All right, man. This is all about you. Get prepared. We're going to fire some questions at you, man. We met at New York Comic-Con. You have some crazy, amazing work. Kelvin's going to get a slideshow here in a bit to just kind of go through everything. And first question from me is, how'd you get into art? How'd you start?
So art in general. Well, been drawing for as long as I can remember. I've said this in a couple interviews before. The earliest memories I have of just sitting down, drawing, and just getting enveloped into it. That sort of escapism, similar to when you're playing a video game where the rest of the world fades away and you're just in that thing. There was an old show on PBS called Pappy Drew It. Which was, it was like a standard PBS kids show about this guy, Pappy, who, created and drew this fantasy world. At the end of each episode, he'd do this little tutorial of how to draw, some character. Like I said, I've been drawing for as long as I can remember. Believe it or not, only started painting about halfway through college. Which, relative to other artists in life is actually pretty late. For the longest time, I was just stubborn, only wanted to draw. Color made no sense to me. Paint made no sense to me. I'd take two colors, mix them together, and just get this like shit brown. I couldn't wrap my head around it. Yeah. But thankfully, it was a painful process, but I'm very glad I went through it. I met these professors in college who just sort of put their foot down and were like, no, you gotta learn how to paint. And I'm very glad that they did. Since let's see, about a year before I graduated, started getting work as an artist, and been doing that ever since.
So that was the moment where you're like, okay, this is what I'm doing. Like, this is my life. Like, this is what I'm doing right now. This is going to be my life goal. Is that's how I'm going to become an artist. That's me. This is how I'm going to make my living. Is that kind of like the aha moment?
Yeah, kind of. I don't remember. Believe it or not, I don't remember when it was, but I remember where it was, and I actually went back to that exact spot. There was a little path from Calkins Hall, which was the art building in Hofstra University, where I went on Long Island. A little path from Calkins Hall to the the parking lot.
Cut the show. He's from Long Island. We can't talk to him
That's
anymore.
Oh, what?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for stopping by.
You got something against Long Island, bro? You got something against Billy Joel?
Us being
What
from
is
the
this?
Bronx, you know, I mean, it's
Exactly.
Just,
No, it's just fun to talk smack about people from Long Island. It's just a
Yeah,
funny.
it
Like,
is.
there's
Talk
nothing
smack
wrong with
about
you
what?
guys.
We're
It's-
perfect in every way. What is there to talk smack about? I don't
All right, a
understand.
little better than New Jersey, but you
the
know that's
best.
about it. You know,
The best suburb in the world.
yeah, sure.
It's the best suburb in Long Island. Yeah, born and raised, baby.
Nice.
I'm proud of it.
So it seems like your inspiration comes from you dabble with a lot of things. It seems
Yeah.
like, right? Gaming, DC, Marvel. So where do you find your inspiration? Like where is it that you get that like that urge to draw and paint?
Yeah, anywhere and everywhere. Which sounds like a non-answer, but it is the honest truth. To give you to give you an idea, let's see if it's got okay. So the Knuckles that's up right now. Speaking of Sonic, the Knuckles that's up right now, that's in watercolor, and I have a very similar style that I do in acrylic, where it's the figure, and then this sort of Captain America too, exactly. The figure, and then this sort of paint trail, sort of blending, disintegrating them away, trying to give it a sense of motion. Believe it or not, that came from, if you ever saw back in the I guess it would be like the 30s or 40s, the nuclear bomb tests that they would do, where they'd set up like this like Nuketown in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
They'd set up those fake towns, like literally build an entire small town, set off a nuclear explosion, and like study how it would disintegrate and destroy stuff. There was a GIF I found of one of those houses being hit by the nuclear shockwave, and I just thought it was cool. And when you save the GIF on your computer, you can go in frame by frame. And there was one frame where like the initial shockwave had hit it, and all the very loose dust and debris was flying off, but the house was still standing. And I just thought like, oh, that's kind of cool. And from there, I was like, okay, let's try and do that with a paintbrush. And that's how it came up.
There it is.
So yeah, again, never would have thought that that's where it came from, but you always, you're always keeping your eyes and ears open to everything that's out there, and get swirled around in here, and out comes something new, hopefully.
So do you have a favorite piece that you've worked? Is this all the pieces that you've worked on so far, or there are more?
Oh no, yeah, no, there's a lot more.
Okay.
Yeah, no, there's a good bit more. Whenever I'm asked my favorite piece, the answer for that is always the same. It's whatever the next one is I'm doing.
Okay.
Answer.
That's kind of my cycle is, about 3/4 through whatever the piece is that I'm currently working on. When that's about a quarter to being done, I get the idea for the next one, and then the image is crystal clear in here. It's going to be the most perfect, incredible, epic piece of art that anyone's ever made ever. And you go through, make that one. It turns out to not be as great as you'd hoped, but somewhere that's manageable.
Yep.
And you make that one, and then 3/4 of the way through that, the idea for the next one, and it sort of keeps rolling on like that.
I was gonna say, I don't get tired of looking at your pics, man. Of your
thank you.
We're going through a
Thank you.
slideshow, and what's awesome about your art is that you can't stop looking at it. Like,
There's a lot
wow.
of details.
there's a shit ton of detail. Like,
Yeah.
the reverse flash, the Sonic, the Knuckles, them running in motion. The Captain
Smash
America
Brother one, the one that you have.
Yeah, the one I have. It just
Yeah.
to this day, I think I find new shit. Super Smash Brothers.
That was the idea with that one, man. So that's good to hear, man. Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah, it's very, I don't know, it's captivating. I love seeing the one that you made a recently. You just did a Carnage one, right?
Yes.
Yes,
yes,
Oh
yes,
my
yeah.
god, dude, it is amazing
thank you.
how it just looks so good, dude. Like, it looks really cool. So I
Thank
have
you,
the
man.
Samus one that just popped up, and for those that are listening right now, I highly recommend you guys watch this on YouTube, because it is like probably one of our more like video like portions
Centric,
of
yeah.
the video centric
for
of the podcast, but because we're showing these like live and showing this as a slideshow, but there's a Samus one that I purchased, and I love the way it looks. It just has like this very close up look at Samus, and she has like a little bit of her visor broken. Like, it just looks really dope.
Well, it's very like it's like a moment where you actually believe it. Like that actually is like a screenshot from the game. It feels like you're in that moment with her. Like she just got into battle with like a Metroid Ridley, and she's like, oh, her, and you feel that in the picture, and you really conveyed that really well, Sean.
Oh,
thank
thank you so much, guy. That's really great to hear, because that was pretty much exactly what I was going for. I was like, okay, what if either a movie version, which obviously we're talking about before, but I was thinking, okay, what if Metroid Prime came out like this, this year? That now this painting was a couple years old at the time, but that current year was done in like Unreal Engine, cutting edge special effects, lighting, and all that. What if what if we got Metroid Prime at that level of quality? And that's sort of what I was, the purpose behind the piece, because this was, I'm trying to think back. This was before Dread came out, so we hadn't got, obviously, Other M, and they came up. Didn't they come up with some pinball game or something? None of those count. But we hadn't, not counting those, of course, we hadn't gotten a mainline, real Metroid game in years.
Quite some time. Yeah.
GameCube
like I said, before Dread. So I was like, all right, what would this look like if we got a video game this year? And so this will, thank you for noticing that. A lot of detail, a lot of tech stuff in the armor, trying to make it look functional.
What happened? Is there a story behind this? Like, what did she face? What is there anything that you can maybe come up like out of the blue if you haven't thought of that?
Yeah, no, sure. So if you look at the background, it's supposed to be Brinstar. For those who, and if you're not a huge Metroid fan, maybe you don't know, but it's one of the main areas in Super Metroid and in the Metroid world. And it actually, it's. I didn't have a story behind like the actual armor and battle damage, but I wanted it to just be sort of reminiscent of what she and the suit would look like. Again, she's totally solo. You're going through all of this stuff, alien planets, fighting, killing all the animals and vegetation on the planet, in addition to some bad guys and space pirates. But what she would actually look like, just having to go it all alone and fight everything solo.
Interesting.
And I, like I said, I do see the little Metroids in the background. I actually didn't notice the Metroids in the background when I looked at yours, Kelvin, but now seeing it up close like this, I'm like, oh, there's actually more. Again, the little details that keep popping up.
I had to get a few of those in.
What was the hardest piece you've worked on?
Funny you say it. That one right there.
No, perfect. Hang on, let me stop this.
Funny you say it, the Skyward Sword.
So we're talking about details here. We have this vertical or like portrait version of this. It's Skyward Sword, and there's just so much shit going on here. Like working from the top, like you're talking about, you got the sky loft, you got the clouds, you have the loft wings, then you have what's Phi? Yeah.
Whatever
name is,
whatever you want to, however you want to pronounce it.
And then you have Link and Zelda and all the characters on the bottom, and it's just an incredible piece. It is absolutely insane. It captures every part of Skyward Sword in here. I'm saying, giving it a disjustice because I'm describing to you via audio. So again, like Kelvin said, please, if you can, watch the YouTube version of this so you can actually see this for yourself.
For sure. Yeah, another like amazing piece for me like this. I'm not a major Zelda. I don't even think I played Skyward, but this looks like gorgeous. Like it has the little nuance, like little details, even like the little potion on the top right. Like it has like the little symbols on each corner. Like I think it's really cool.
And how long did this take you? If you don't mind asking. If you don't mind.
No. Of course, I get that question all the time. Yeah, and it's always tough to answer because I'm working on not two or three, but like at least one or two pieces generally at the same time. And in addition to that, being a freelance artist, I'm my own social media marketer, accountant, business manager. You're always wearing a bunch of different hats.
Yes.
So it's tough to answer, but I'd say it was about, again, doing other stuff while doing this. It was about 6 weeks, 6 weeks to 2 months.
Wow.
Yeah, and it was the toughest one thus far for that exact reason you pointed out. So that one is the first one I did. The Wind Waker is the second, and I'm doing a series, every main title in The Legend of Zelda. And the point is in each game, in each picture, to capture the entire game all in one image.
Nice.
So for the composition, it gets pretty tricky because, as you know, there's not just the world, but the characters, and then also the feeling and the vibe of that, the particular flavor of that game. So planning out the composition, all the, Skyloft, all the different floating islands and the surface world and all that was very challenging.
I can't wait till you come out with an Ocarina of Time one, because I will buy that so fast.
Thank you, man.
That'll be so. I don't want to rush you, but whenever that comes out, I'll be getting that.
Are you a Kingdom Hearts fan by any chance?
You would make some.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. Kingdom Hearts, for one reason or another, I don't have anything against it, but it just sort of passed me by. I was in college at the time, and was learning to paint, and for whatever reason, I always liked it. Like, I played it a little bit and was always watching it when other friends were playing it, and I know how well reviewed and how just generally how good that game was, but haven't gotten into it myself. It's hard for me to do paintings of stuff I'm not super into.
Yeah.
So
sure.
it's like, people ask me, well, especially with that series, like if I hadn't played Skyward Sword, I would have never come up with that, I have to either watch the full movies or the full series, play the entire game beginning to end in order to get the germination of some kind of idea started.
Metal Gear Solid.
That's one. That should be.
I'm sorry, that was a sneeze.
Dude, you got COVID?
I think so, man. I think so. I don't know what happened there, but I don't know, man. Metal Gear Solid. If you have you played that game? Have you
the first one? Oh yeah. The first one a good bit back in the. I guess I'm dating myself now.
I'm giving you ideas here. You know what I mean? I'm making you money right now.
I hear you. Always loved the box art.
Yes.
The watercolor against that white background. Each game, even though I didn't play any past the first, each game that came out, I would always go. And anytime I was in, back in the day, kids, we used to have video game stores.
Stop.
Anytime I was in a Game Crazy or anything like that, was always flipping through the guidebooks for those games, because they had some of the best art 100%. That was around.
Yeah, for sure. Those two games, right? Those two series right there are like one of my favorite things. So talking about games, talking about, like incorporating that, talk to us a little bit about Comic-Con and how you incorporate, like, how do you get into Comic-Con first off? Like, how did you get started?
Look like?
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of, when you say Comic-Con, there's small, mid, and then upper levels, just like there is anything else. There's your mom and pop conventions that are, some of them are only 1 day, some of them 2 days, that you can find in various areas across the country. Somewhere in the United States, every weekend, every year, there's a comic convention going on. Like I said, some of them are very small, just regional ones. Then there are sort of mid-level ones, like I was just at a couple weekends ago, Terrificon, which is a great one in Connecticut. It's at Mohegan Sun. And then there's the upper-level ones, which is New York Comic-Con, which I'll be at in October, C2E2, which is a big one out in Chicago. And then when people say just Comic-Con, they mean San Diego Comic-Con. That's a bit, exactly.
That's the one. That's like the Mecca of
that is well said. Yes, that's the Mecca. That's every nerd at one point in their life does the birthright trip out to there and give praise.
Which we haven't yet.
Praise to Stan Lee, and it's a whole thing. Haven't done New York Comic Con the past couple of years. Haven't made it out to San Diego yet. I'm I'm based on the East Coast, and it's a lot of
It's a lot of work.
it's a lot of logistics. Obviously, not just myself, but I got which we'll see later. I got giant paintings that figuring out how to ship that cross country and get them there safety is tough. But yeah, for most of the small mid-level ones, if you know what Comic-Con it is, go to their website, apply to either get an exhibitor spot, which is usually a 10-foot by 10-foot square on the show floor, or if you're new, what I'd recommend is an artist alley table. Every convention has a section called Artist Alley, which is exactly what it is. The show floor is basically like a big mall. Comic book shops and various,
all the vendors and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. All the vendors are out there. Artist Alley is the actual people who in the industry, the guy who's currently drawing Spider-Man. If you love that book, if he's at that Comic-Con, he's an Artist Alley, just at a table, selling prints, selling his art, sketching for people. So yeah, I would, if you're looking to get into it, I would recommend any small, local convention. You can, you pay for the table and you just, you walk in and sell your stuff. For the upper level things, New York Comic-Con, C2E2 San Diego, they're a bit more exclusive. They're a bit harder to get into. You got to kind of build up a name for yourself and, make some connections. So that takes a little longer to get into.
Interesting.
Awesome. What has been your craziest moment, like at a con or one of these events? Like, have you witnessed something that was just like insane, or do you have a crazy story about one of these events that you've been to over the past couple of years?
I got a couple.
Okay.
A few I can tell you about. A few I probably would get in trouble if I did.
Oh man.
But I'll have to save those. But no, there's been a lot. Before even doing, I told a version of this story on another podcast once. So New York Comic-Con is always held at the Javits Center. I did a photography project, part of a photography class I had to do in college at the Javits Center. And, if there is an event going on, you can kind of wander around as you please. So having a good visual memory of the layout of the Jacob Javits Center, the facility, I remember, again, I can't get into too many details, but I remember certain the right back doors to walk into. The next year, we're at New York Comic-Con. It was the Comic-Con before the first Avengers came out. So I sort of scope out. They have the big Avengers panel. Chris Evans is there. The guy who played Tom Hiddleston, who played Loki. Jeremy Renner. All the big celebrities. Not Scarlett Johansson, unfortunately.
Most important,
Yeah, I know. It would have been nice to have met her. But so I sort of scope out. I'm like, all right, after the big panel, they do private. They do one-on-one interviews, which you've seen online before. It's a small group of media people. Yep. In a room, and they just circle around and do 5 minutes with each. So I'm like, all right, I think I know where that's happening. Walk through a few of the right back doors, and I pop out in a room, and there's the cast of the Avengers.
Jesus,
that's sick.
Doing the rounds, going around to various media people, and it's it's the cast of the Avengers, and maybe I don't know. 40 other media people, a camera guy, an interview guy, and someone else, and from all different, Ain't It Cool News, whatever. So I walk in the right back door, and there I am, and I immediately start getting eyeballs of people, like, because this was, well, again, dating myself, this was 10 years ago, probably. Mm-hmm. So I'm a young kid in a t-shirt and a backpack, just attending the convention. This was years before I had a table, was selling my art. And I'm totally out of place. I immediately am like, all right, I got to do something because I'm going to get kicked out of here.
Yeah.
I go up to the first little group, the duo that I see, camera guy and interviewer. They work for Marvel.com. They're doing interviews, obviously promotion for the movie. I go, hey, listen, man, I just leveled with them. I rolled the dice. I'm like, listen, I could lie or I could take a shot in the dark. I leveled with him. I'm like, listen, I'm a young kid. I'm a fan. I won't bother anyone. I won't ask any questions. I'll just stand here quietly. and just enjoy the moment. But I just happen to walk in the right back door. Can I hang out by you and I won't make a peep? He goes, yeah, sure, no problem. So,
Wow.
less within 5 feet of, like I said, the cast of the Avengers as they're going around making the round. Like I said, I didn't want to push my luck and like ask them any questions, ask them to
Right.
sign anything. I didn't want to do a selfie and then shoot myself in the foot and get kicked out of there.
Right.
But that's definitely one of, if not the highlights. One of those things that could only happen at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Like I would never get the opportunity to be in the right place, right time, and just kind of hang out with the Avengers in that environment.
That's
So,
crazy, dude.
Thanks,
Dude, I'm so jealous, man. Like that's like what everyone wants. Like when they go to Comic-Con, they're like, I want to stumble upon and just be like, hey, what's, you know what I mean?
Right,
like,
right,
and you
right.
lived it, you did it, which I mean, you can die happy now, you know?
yeah, it was amazing. Yeah.
Crazy.
Wow.
So a little bit more about your work and what inspires you. I think I kind of want to dabble a little bit more on what would be like, what are your future goals with like what you're doing right now, or like, I don't know. I guess let's start with that. Like any future goals that you have, where do you see your art growing from here? Like, do you see your art changing in any ways? Like what you're doing right now, you're doing more like watercolor, and do you think that's something that's going to change in the future, or like what do you think?
Yeah, no, I'm all my work is all traditional hand done. I have a lot of respect for the people who do things digitally. There's a lot of incredible artists doing some really great digital stuff. There's no real rivalry between traditional and digital, as a lot of people think. But yeah, all traditional, all hand done, and as far as I use a lot of different mediums, like you said, watercolor, but acrylic, pen and ink, charcoal. And I like using a lot of different mediums. I guess it's sort of, putting it in video game terms, you think of like a progress tree on an RPG. I just want to keep those. I'm thinking of a Ghost of Tsushima here now.
Like a skill tree? You want to
a
like
skill
level
tree.
up
Yes,
skill?
thank you. Skill tree is the word I was looking for. I'm thinking of a skill tree where, each medium I use, I just want to keep pushing it to that next level.
Right.
And not just the mediums themselves, but it's knowing how to incorporate them in the right time and in the right place. Especially, what I said with the Legend of Zelda series. Each game, you look at the difference between Wind Waker, Skyward Sword, and Twilight Princess. Visually, especially with Wind Waker, completely different visual styles. So having all those different mediums that and are all different tools in your tool belt, you know the right one to take out to capture the right feeling of the nice blended giant sky of of the great ocean in Wind Waker.
Right.
Whereas, that wouldn't quite capture the same feeling of Skyward Sword, which a lot of that art style was based off of Impressionist paintings back in the day. So, and career-wise, the goal is obviously, to build my own name and my own brand and my own style, just, notoriety and all that, but work for the big two, Marvel or DC. That's obviously the dream. Or well, I shouldn't say and also obviously I'm a huge Nintendo fan. So if the opportunity ever presented itself to do anything with them, I would jump on it immediately.
Awesome. Yeah, that's that. I mean, I can definitely see it, man. Like that would be fantastic, dude, if you did that. Like that'd be awesome.
Fully confident in your ability to do that.
Oh wow, thank you, guys. That's wow. That really means a lot. Thank you. Yeah, there's some incredible, there's some incredible artists who do who do a lot of work for them. Did you ever see? I know, Kevin, you said not so much. Robert, you a Zelda fan?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Do you ever see? It was for their, I think around when Skyward Sword came out. Was that their 30th anniversary or 35th?
Yeah, 25th, I think.
Or 20. Yes, I think you might be right. Yeah. There was some guy, and had I thought of it ahead of time, I would have sent it to you. But there was a guy who did a super long, vertical, epic painting of every character in the whole series. In
Ever?
fact,
Just it's
yep.
wow.
You know what? Could I do a screen share with you guys
just
and show
click
you?
it. Yeah, just hit
I
share.
think so,
and-
yeah.
Hold on one second. Let me pull this up because
Yeah.
it's like I said. There's a lot of incredible artists who do. So this is, and you might have seen it. You might have just not known. All right, hold on. I'm going to share my screen.
Was this person who did this? Were they at New York City Comic Con?
No, you know what? I haven't been able to. Let's see. I haven't been able to find. I haven't been able to find that it's an Asian artist. I'm assuming Japanese, just because based on where the country
Yeah.
is.
Mhm.
Let's see. Entire screen window. Chrome tab. Why can't I share? Let's share. I can't seem to share for some reason.
It won't let you share? Huh. Interesting.
Oh, it might be
I
something
don't know.
on my.
I don't know if it's a guest thing. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
maybe
could it
'cause
be a
you're-
guest thing?
Yeah, maybe we have to give you edit rights or something like that.
Oh, okay, all right, then I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good.
But yeah, there's I could.
You just link. Yeah, if you could just link it to us, we can probably
Okay.
show it that way. But yeah, I mean, so far, you're gonna do. You want to go Marvel. You want to go to DC. DC.
Mhm.
What do you
Nintendo.
see yourself doing in 3 years from now? What is short term?
Short term, continue doing the conventions. I got a couple things in the works right now that's a little bit too early to discuss, unfortunately. But
All good.
I'm in the I'm very fortunate that I'm in this spot where my own artwork, I've built up enough of a base of people who like my stuff, and my own artwork, either through the conventions or online sales and all that, is keeping me sustained. So it's I got a lot of ideas, and it's just making the time to get them all down on paper and canvas. And yeah, beyond that, it's I've been doing this for enough time to realize that you can't really forecast or predict this kind of stuff. When the opportunities present them to you, you jump on them.
Just take
just
it.
do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Until then, I'm pimping and whoring myself out there as much as I can,
It's the way to do it, man.
never turning anything down.
Yeah,
And
you're hustling, man. You're just doing your hustle.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, I know Kelvin had the slideshow of all your images here going through, and you have a image of Reverse Flash, right?
Yes.
The yellow watercolor one, I believe it is. And Kelvin kind of ruined Reverse Flash for me.
Oh no, don't do it, bro. Don't.
And I don't know if you're
How's that?
familiar with. There's this video that's out, and it is the most insane thing where I'm gonna say on the podcast. Do you care, Kelvin, if I say on the podcast this thing?
Hey, man, go for it.
So
now I got
so it's this video. It's like a voiceover thing, right? There's
Okay.
of the show, right?
Okay.
And it's Reverse Flash does something to Flash, and Flash is no, or whatever, and he's Barry. He's do you know why when you were hooking up with Stacy in 9th grade, you nutted so quickly?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
He's it was me, Barry. I jerked you off so fast. It was me. And then Flash is no.
Yeah.
So
I can't.
every time I see Reverse Flash, I think of that stupid video. So he's forever ruined for me now. So
Listen, man,
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it. I watched that meme or that video 5-6 times straight.
Some of those dubs on those shows are ridiculous.
The Dragon Ball Z one, dude, is just great.
Yeah.
The one that we watched. Which one was that? It was
go on, get the
Broly?
fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Bro. Yeah.
Oh man.
There's so many
That
good
was
ones.
do you guys remember that years ago there were guys who did they overdubbed the G.I. Joe cartoon? Do you remember
I think
that?
I
from
remember.
years
I
ago?
remember this. I don't remember
No.
the actual dub, what they were saying, but I do remember there was one with
And
G.I.
it was
Joe.
the most random. It was the most random weird shit of a guy. Just the one of the G.I. Joe guys running in to save kids from a burning building, and he just starts cursing at them, and just saying random shit. And I think they did a couple over. It was always old cartoons like. I'm blanking on the name. The Elemental Captain Planet?
Captain Planet, yeah.
Captain Planet, just weird stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah, and I feel like it
Back
doesn't
in the-
fly today. Like we don't really see the dubs like that, like they were
No.
because
Yeah.
they just don't want to.
They're a little ridiculous now.
Yeah,
you know?
they're just too ridiculous. But whenever they pop up, man, it's a freaking blast. Yeah.
Anything to close interview here? Rob?
No, I'm good. I think we got everything we need. I mean, like I said, guys, just freaking check out his work. Go on his website. We'll post in a link below. But before we head out, before we stop everything, I think we have a couple of questions to ask you. And this is our segment, Would You Rather?
Let's do it.
All right. Kelvin, do you want to do the honors for the first question?
Sure.
All right.
Sean, would you rather is our segment here. So these are just fun little topics that we talk about.
Okay.
First one here. Bowser kidnaps both Princess Peach and Princess Zelda. Who are you saving?
Zelda.
Wait.
The other one is stripped from her princess title.
Oh, Princess no more.
Not that it matters.
Still
Doesn't
Zelda.
matter. It's just still Zelda.
Still Zelda.
Why so?
Because how many times, Princess Peach? How many times?
Yeah.
Can you get? Listen. I know it's the main driver. It's the story and all that. But how many times can you get kidnapped in a castle of all things?
Nonetheless,
it seems to happen every other weekend, and there's no guard dogs. There's no nothing. At a certain point, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me 37 times, I'm saving the other princess.
Okay.
Now, does Princess Peach want to get kidnapped by Bowser?
Does she want to get back?
That's the twist.
There's something. There's something happening.
There's something going
here.
on with Bowser and Peach. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. He's packing the heat. If you know.
Watch out, Mario.
Yeah, they're together. Okay. It's all a front to lure Mario in and rob him or something. Yeah, but and plus, once you get there, as we've all seen at the end of Ocarina of Time, Zelda helps you out.
Oh,
so
true,
you got
true.
backup,
True.
But
Rob, what do you think?
Princess Zelda gets captive all the time by whoever's the baddie that time. Most of the time it's Gandorf. Like in Twilight Princess, she got captive. In Ocarina of Time, she got captive. So she does get captured too.
Yeah, but it's only, and again, is it only those 2 times?
I want to say in Wind Waker, there was like a weird thing in Wind Waker that happened with her. But
yes, but she freed herself, I think.
Something like that.
She's more of a badass than Peach.
Okay, yeah, she is. She is.
Yeah, essentially.
So you're picking Zelda. You're picking Zelda all the way. All right, Kelvin, you picking Peach?
I'm picking Zelda. No, picking Zelda. No, Peach. I mean, I don't care anything about Peach. Zelda all the way.
All right, I'll ask this next one.
All
Sean.
Right. Yes.
If you could pick any mask from Majora's Mask
to
have, which one would you pick? And if you go to the doc here, you should be able to click on the list if you don't have it on memory. But we have a list here. And
okay.
Hard to see, but can I increase
so you have the 3 transformation masks, right? You have the Deku mask, the Goron mask, the Zora mask. You have the Fierce Deity. Is it Fierce Deity? Fierce Deity.
Deity. Yeah.
Mask. But you also have the Happy mask, or what the hell they're called.
There's a lot. Like, I don't know anything about these masks, so this is a tough question for me. But there's
like 130 of them, and they all have different abilities. Some of which are very useful, some of which are not so much.
Interesting.
All right? First question: are we going by the strict Fierce Deity rules that I can only use?
You are abiding by every rule of the mask.
Okay, so I can't use the Fierce Deity outside of dungeons.
Yep.
Right.
Well, in that case, you'd be an idiot to not choose one of the transformation masks. Right?
Before I know where you're going here.
Okay.
But the animation where Link is putting on those transformations masks, that motherfucker is screaming.
Yes.
So
wait, what?
It's pretty scary.
Go into YouTube right now and type in Link Majora's Mask. Type in Link transformation mask. Just do it and
like YouTube.
Watch. Yeah, YouTube. Just put Link.
It's very cool, but it is startling. But it's intense.
Yeah. So here you go. So
Yeah.
watch this real quick, Kelv. So look at
Alright.
this. It's like, oh,
Should I have the sound on?
you could. Yeah, you should have the sound on to hear it. But look how much pain he's in when he's putting that thing on. He's literally
The Goron
screaming at the
one
top
is
of his
always
lungs.
very cool.
Yeah, and then we're
Yes.
gonna look at the next one. It's the
Yeah,
Goron
yeah.
mask. And pain.
Oh my
Just pain.
God.
And
But
then he's
that's
okay.
cool looking though. Like you gotta admit, like
It
yes, it
is.
looks like he's going through hell, but you gotta admit that's a cool little sequence.
Right. And
The
then I
way
think the
they did
Zora
it.
one is the most craziest. Yeah. This is the best one, I think, in my opinion. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
this
that's
is
right. Yeah, the
demonic.
little
that was
veins
cool.
coming out
Oh, he
of the
changes
black
his
eyes.
whole entire leg.
Yeah.
He turns into the thing. Yeah. I don't actually remember the Fierce Deity one as far as like what he looks like when he like is
Fierce
putting it-
Deity looks
Oh, the giant
bigger.
mask.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He turns bigger. That one didn't seem that bad. That
Okay.
one seemed okay.
It was the only way you can beat what was it, twin mold? Right?
Twin mold, yeah.
Interesting.
And then we have the final mask, which is Fierce Deity.
There we go.
And this is it look scary? Yeah, it's not that bad.
Eh.
Compared to the next one. And then
Okay.
the ridiculous link. So now, Sean, which one you
Yeah.
picking after watching all of those?
You know what? To be honest, I always thought it was a cool little sequence. Maybe it'll be like, my fingernails being plucked out, but I'm
God.
kind of curious to know how it feels like. And Goron mask was always my favorite, especially, rolling around once you get that magic boost,
Yeah.
the spikes come out. I'm going Goron.
It's a good choice. It looks
Yeah.
the least painful out of all those three
Yeah.
sequences. So
Yeah, but I want to know how painful it is. I'm curious.
He's curious. All right.
all right, Kel, which one you picking?
Again, I don't know much about Majora's Mask, so I'm going with the Zora mask.
Yes.
It looked cool. It just
Underwater, you have a boomerang that
Yeah,
you
basically Aquaman. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
basically.
basically.
I'm cool with that. So yeah, I'm definitely going with the Zora mask.
Yeah, I think the Zora mask would be like pretty cool. I'm gonna be on that boat, but I think the bunny hood would be pretty sick to have
Yes,
Mm.
that was my second choice.
because
Yeah.
you run faster, and the Mask of Truth I think would be pretty sick.
Oh yeah, I didn't think of that.
So you could people tell you the truth.
Yeah, yeah, that's a
Oh,
good.
I like
that would
that.
be
That's true.
useful.
That's useful. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right.
All right. Last one here.
All right.
Simple. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Super Mario Sunshine, and I hope you played any of these games, but Super Mario Sunshine or Super Mario Odyssey. Choose wisely because whichever you decide will also receive a sequel. The other one will not.
So obviously, Super Mario Sunshine has never gotten a sequel,
Right.
and Odyssey never got a sequel.
Right.
But
Are we saying yet, or was there ever? Is there
It's
ever?
never been confirmed, never been
For
denied.
Odyssey?
there
for-
would basically be zero chance of it ever happening.
Yeah. If you
Ever.
pick Sunshine, you'll never see an Odyssey
Okay.
sequel. If you pick Mario Odyssey, you'll never see a Sunshine sequel. So which one would you pick? Sunshine or Odyssey? Did you play Sunshine?
Yes.
Of
Okay,
course
because
you
I
did.
was
Yeah,
about to, I was about to close this broadcast right now if you didn't.
Play both. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Beat Sunshine. Didn't beat Odyssey, but
Okay.
yes.
Good man. Good man.
And I think that sort of gave away my answer. Is that it's
Yeah,
got to be
no,
Sunshine?
yep.
Sunshine. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
For two reasons. One, it's been stiffed the longest. And I'm not. I think there's more, and maybe just because it's an older game, I think there's more places, more ways to update Sunshine. Whereas Odyssey, I think kind of again
got
there.
everything.
Yeah, it kind of covered. It kind of covered not everything. Obviously, there's more you can take it. There's different things you can do, but Sunshine I feel like has more to explore
Mm.
than
Gotcha.
and again maybe just because it's older, maybe I just want to see the same world but with the
Nostalgic.
graphics,
Yeah.
the high res graphics we got today. But yeah, I'd have to say Sunshine. And I don't know if you call it the companion, but the water gun as opposed to the hat was so much
Hat-
cooler.
Yeah, the flood. Yeah. the
Yes,
flood.
thank
Yeah.
you. Yes, yeah, that was so much cooler. So yeah, I'm going with Sunshine.
Okay.
Kelvin?
Okay. Sunshine it is for me. I I think more so for just nostalgic purposes, because I did love Sunshine very much, and I know that was kind of like the oddball of the Mario games. So, but yeah, I thought that game was phenomenal. I thought that game was so much fun, and I think to see a sequel now in 2022, 2023, whenever it comes out, I think that would be
the hype levels would be absolutely
hype levels would be major, and they could do a lot with that. You know, I mean, I'm sure they can revisit that title and just change up a lot of things that made it kind of off, made it kind of weird, like really bring up the quality in the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Mario Odyssey, I feel like, I mean, Mario Odyssey is great and all. I love it, you know, but I can do without a sequel for Mario Odyssey.
Exactly. Like they kind of, it's a good game. It's a good game. They did what they need to do, but it's like we already kind of just had it at like, I don't see myself in like 20 years being like, I really wish I had a Mario Odyssey. You know what I mean? Like, but Sunshine, hands down, just that's my pick. Like easy. That's incredible game. And it's so dumb because like at first you're like, I have to just clean messes. I just have to clean the paint. That's it. That's stupid. And then you're like, oh, it's actually pretty sick. And it's just the soundtrack for that game was incredible. Absolutely.
It was, yes.
Delfino Plaza.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, in the world, the tropical island feel of everything was. And again, it was like you said, it was sort of an oddball for the Mario world, but it also fit. Like it's perfect. It made sense. Yeah, no, that was a great one. I felt like that was part Would You Rather and part of a little bit of a test. Like if I had said Odyssey, this would have gone south.
This would have gone south real quick. Yeah, so I'm glad you picked the right one.
All right, cool.
Well, Sean, thank you so much for coming on to the show. We really
thank you guys. Thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun, but this was a lot of fun.
Ton of fun talking to you, and really, guys, go ahead and check out Sean's Instagram. It's Sean Carlson Art. Yeah. And he also has a website, SeanCarlsonArt.com/store. You can actually buy some of his prints online. Highly recommend it. I'll put all the links in the description below. And yeah, man, I can't wait to see you during Comic-Con and buy some of your prints 100%. Hopefully we'll get to take a picture together, post it on social media and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Kelvin, anything else for Sean before we wrap up?
No, again, thank you for coming by. We really do appreciate you stopping by and showing us your artwork and just talking about how your journey is. And yeah, so Rob's not going to be here next week, but I will be here. I'll definitely be doing an episode with somebody, special guest. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, that's all I have.
All right. Well, guys, thank you. Please, again, we have a new Patreon up, Patreon / The Gaming Duo. Like I said, anything helps. We would awesome benefits. Please support us on social media. Follow us, give us likes, rate our podcast on Apple and Spotify. It really does help us on the algorithm, and we do appreciate your support. And again, we wouldn't be able to do this without you guys listening. And thank you so much, Sean. Again, thank you, and I wish you the best of luck for everything. And 100%. Kelvin, I will see you not next week, but then a week after that.
Absolutely. So, see you guys.
See you guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks.